That's a one badass Harley FXR right here, boy.
They got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems.
Indy 500 shocks on it.
Some problems I solve them. I run through the money. The pressure be calling.
This right here is the best Harley that's ever done been made.
For my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back.
Today we got my good buddy Chris's FXR here. He's had it for a couple years. As you saw earlier in the video at the beginning, it has some starting issues. It's a pretty decked out FXR. It's got your exhaust hooked up. It's got the narrow glide front end with a dual disc, 2-in-1 exhaust. It's got your upgraded shocks in the back. I think these are no, I don't really know what those are. Anyway, it's got the T-bars. It's got a Cali fairing on it. I mean, anniversary paint job. It's a sweet FXR, and it has the Mikuni upgrade, which can be good or bad, hence this whole video. These Mikunis are great carburetors if you're a weekend rider. If you ride a lot almost every weekend, keep fresh fuel in it, keep your bike charged up, know how to start it, these are great carburetors. If you're a seasonal rider, you park it for a couple months, let your gas sit in there, let your battery die, not super mechanical but love the ride, which there's nothing wrong with that. As long as you get on two wheels, that's all that matters, right? But if you're that type of rider, a Mikuni is probably not the carburetor for you. You probably want to stick with your stock one. That being said, my buddy Chris, he's a heavy rider. He rides a lot, almost every day to work, and this thing is just hard starting. So today's video, we're going to pull this thing off, get it on the workbench, and we're going to put a rebuild kit in it, check the jets, clean the accelerator pump, make sure everything is good to go on it, and then get it back on. You guys hang out. Let's get this thing off and get it on the bench. Drop that thumb. There it is. We captured most of the fuel that came out. As you can see, there's the Mikuni carburetor. All right, guys. One thing I forgot to mention earlier about rebuilding the carburetor. That's great. It's definitely needed, but it's all going to be pointless if you don't replace your intake seals and really inspect your intake and make sure it's not leaking. Because a lot of the popping and hard starts and spitting and sputtering comes from intake leaks. And on this carburetor, when I just popped it off, this rubber flange that's bolted to the aluminum intake manifold has black gasket and sealant all over it. Anyway, I never pull a carburetor off a Harley without replacing the intake manifold seals when I put it back on anyway. That's just good practice, because for some reason these Harleys, even up in the twin cams and especially shovel heads, all the airs of the motors, they're notorious for intake leaks. So keep in mind, replace your intake seals and make sure all that is square before you just rebuild the carburetor and pop it back on where it was. All right, guys, here she is, the Mikuni in all her glory. I drained the fuel bowl outside. The first thing I like to check when I take these things apart is I'll look down here at the accelerator pump, and I'll give the throttle arm a twist. While there's still a little bit of fuel left in the accelerator pump, I'll make sure the accelerator nozzle is still spraying, and this one is spraying pretty good. The first issue I've seen is the angle of the accelerator pump. Right now, when I spray it, it's one thing I look at. Right now, it's hitting the needle seat directly, so the accelerator pump is spraying and hitting the base of that needle, and then just kind of collapsing everywhere. So right now, I will turn this thing once I get it apart, maybe like a 1/16 of an inch to the right, so it sprays directly down into the motor instead of hitting the needle and breaking up. All carburetors are pretty simple, especially when it comes to Harley. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I can't rebuild my carburetor, but I'm telling you guys, it is not difficult at all. So it takes a minimal amount of tools to take it off, minimum amount of tools to open it up. And what you want to do really is, once you take your float bowl off, unless you're having some major issues, float bowl comes off with 4 bolts, okay? Unless you're having major issues, that's really all you need to take off. On this top side, it's vacuum sealed. It draws vacuum, and it kind of has like a negative slide, just like any flat side carburetor or even CV carburetor. You know, that's kind of pressurized. So you want to make sure your gaskets up here is good and all that. And right now, when I was just taking apart, I don't know if you guys saw that, but my accelerator pump needle just fell out. So I know this thing's been taken apart before, and the gasket looks like it's worn out. And it also has a flathead groove on this accelerator pump, so you can clock it in the perfect direction. So I already know this thing was clocked wrong. So that leads me to believe that it has been opened before. So before we even get started and look at everything, I went ahead and ordered a rebuild kit for Mikuni off Amazon. The link will be in the description below. I want to say this was like $8. I went ahead and ordered this before I even took the carburetor apart because I know I'm going to need it. So it comes with everything you need, especially on these Mikunis. They're really bad about leaking fuel if you leave your petcock on. So you want to replace the fuel float needle and seat for sure. That'll help out. That way it won't, flood the basement. And I know from talking to my buddy, he had this issue before. If he let the fuel on, the fuel would leak out, the overflow in the carburetor. So that's one thing we're going to address. The only thing it doesn't come with is jets, but I really didn't know what jets he needed. With the stock Evo, if it's mild or stock build, usually your jets on the Mikuni are going to be around a 28 idle or intermediate and around a 160 main. You really don't need a whole lot more than that because these are heavy fuel carburetors from the get-go. So let's get a close-up as we take a look at this thing. We'll try and make this as simple and easy as possible. Try and get you guys a good view. All you need to take this carburetor apart pretty much is a flathead, a Phillips head, and a pair of pliers. So we'll start with the main jet right here, and we will see what he's got. And he actually has a 160, so that's good right there. That's about what I would run. And then right here, right beside it, we will take out the intermediate jet. Let's see what this guy is. All right, this guy. All right, well, this guy is a 25. So that is a little, that's close to what I run. I like to go with the 26 or 27 and a half, but 25. Okay, so at least now we know a baseline. This thing is definitely not overjetted, which is more of an issue than not. Usually when you get these carburetors and people have been working on them, more fuel is better, right? Well, that's not always the case. So a lot of times these things are like way overjetted for what it is. And then right here, this little Phillips screw. We'll take this Phillips head out. And this guy right here holds your fuel level float and your needle in. Just like that. And then your needle is hanging. Oh, it just fell. So here's your float. This actually floats up and down in the float bowl on the fuel. And when your fuel comes in the bowl, it'll actually float up, raise up, and it'll push down right here in this tab, and it'll push this needle, this rubber tipped needle right here down in the seat, and it'll stop the fuel when it's at the right level. That you also have to adjust. And then you take this other Phillips head screw out right here. And then this piece right here, this is what you need the pliers for. Sometimes these are brass. They can be a little stuck in there. And you take this piece out right here, and that is your fuel needle seat. But you can see this one right here. You can see the gasket, the O-ring of that thing is completely wore out. And then on the top side, we will take this top cover off. And normally, if your Mikuni stock, you wouldn't have to do this. I wouldn't recommend it on a new carburetor if you just bought a Mikuni to put on your fresh build or something. This carburetor, just from everything I've seen so far, I can tell has been taken apart, tinkered with already. So I'm gonna take it apart and see what it has in it, because a lot of times they'll put some adjustable needle, aftermarket needles in there. And so just like that, you can pull this up, push your slide up, and your carburetor, your flat side they call it. And right down there, you can see the base of the needle. And it looks to be the stock Mikuni needle. And it looks to be on the lowest, one of the lowest settings. That means that the needle appears to be, usually they'll have a little needle in there and it'll have 5 grooves on it. You can put your C-clip on the groove. So depending on where you put your C-clip on that needle groove, it'll open your fuel, your main jet up faster or slower. So this one appears to be on the lean side. So that's good because, like I said before, it's very rare that a Harley is running lean. Usually they always set them up super fat or rich. So I'm going to leave this needle in the position it is just by looking at it. It looks to be good. All the springs, everything in here looks to be good. We will take this gasket off on the top piece, replace it, bolt it back up. So from here, we'll rebuild, we'll clean and replace all the jets, your needle and needle seat and everything down below in the bowl and get it back together. So at this point, what I will do, get your trusty old razor blade, clean up all your gasket surfaces. Then I'll take a pick and where it's dirty inside, I'll take my little pick and I'll go around and scratch, you know, kind of some of the built up fuel in there or trash. That's pretty clear for the new seat. So then in this kit, we will take our new seat that we got. So we will get the O-ring of the correct size, O-ring the new float level seat. It's good to go. We will drop this in there and put our Phillips head back on the seat. Then we will take our intermediate jet, make sure it's cleaned out and clear, which this one is, and it's a 25. So like I said before, I know it's not going to be too rich. This motor should run fine with a 25 and 160. We want to take our needle emulsion tube, put it back in there, and it'll actually drop down in the center, and then you can put the main jet holder back on there. Get your pair of pliers, snug it down a little bit. Our main jet, which is a 160, is clean and clear, which that is good to go. I would put a 160 in there also, give a little snug. That's good. We got everything good on this end. Last thing we need is our accelerator pump needle, and that goes in right there. I put the new O-ring on it. You slide it in this hole. You can look on the end, there's a hole right there. It's hard to see through this, but you can put it in your mouth and blow through it, make sure it is clear. This one is. So we will slide it back where it belongs, back in its home, right there. Take your little pick and you can push it all the way down and make sure it's stuck back through. Flip your Mikuni carburetor over, pull your slide all the way up, and you want to look through the hole right here and make sure, this is one issue that this bike had already. So we're going to look through there and make sure that our accelerator pump is clocked correctly. So that's good. And then when you put your gasket on, your gasket actually holds that in place. So that is it. That is cleaning your jets and making sure everything's good to go. The last thing we will do is put our new needle in. The needle goes right here on your fuel seat, and it actually sits like this on your float. So you have a little tab right there, and it just hangs kind of like that. It will hang there, and then we will drop our needle right back down in our seat. Get in there. There it goes. So we can catch it on our tab, and then your shaft for your float bowl will fall right back down under that Phillips head. Tighten that back down. and then your float is snug. So in reality, your carburetor would be sitting like this here, and when your fuel comes into the bowl, it'll fill up the bowl and your float will actually start floating. And when it does, it will actually close the needle. And you can see it if you watch it right there, down in that hole. When your float gets to a level that it'll actually push the needle and seat it up against the seat of the needle. And you want it to be about horizontal, so meaning you want it to be, your float level to be about straight across. You don't want it to be up before the needle seats, or you don't want it to be down. This one actually looks like it's a little full. So how you want to adjust that is you actually just bend this tab right here. So if you want to adjust your float, you actually just hold that tab down, bend it just a little bit, and then it'll actually push the needle up a little bit quicker. So I'll put a new gasket on the float bowl, put the new one in like so, and then it'll be ready to go back on the carburetor. And then put your new bolts in that your kit came with. I'll usually stick one in there, crank it down, and it'll hold the rest of them. You just want to make sure that gasket's not pinched, which is pretty obvious if it will, because then it won't seat down all the way. Make sure you're operational. Then you have your idle mixture screw right here. I'm going to pull out, make sure that's clean, and that is. Usually these are always set at about 1.5 turns out. So you make sure that thing's clean, screw it all the way back in, and turn it back out 1.5 turns. Usually will get you going. One last gasket to replace. We put it on the top. This one's kind of a fiber gasket, so it will leave a little bit of residue behind. You want to just knock that off. Put your new gasket on, and then put your top back on like so. Then it came with new bolts for that as well. Phillips head. There you go. That, my friends, is a rebuilt, cleaned up Mikuni carburetor, ready to bolt back on. Hope you enjoyed that video on how to rebuild a Mikuni carburetor. Sorry it took a little longer than I was expecting, but I wanted to be thorough on rebuilding this thing since it is such a mystery in the Harley world. But the gasket kit I used was from Amazon. It'll be linked below. If you enjoyed that video, like always, please like and subscribe. Stay tuned for part 2 when we bolt this back on and take this thing for a test ride and shake it down and see what else is wrong with it. As always, we enjoyed it. You guys ride safe out there. Stay tuned for the next one. We'll see you guys.